What is going on, everybody? We are back once again with another edition of Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. It is Tuesday, April 1st. I'm stoked to be here. We're going to talk about what an explosive Monday Night Raw. We are definitely on the road to WrestleMania at this stage. It's officially April. It's April Fool's Day, too. I didn't have a clever April Fool's Day joke for you guys yet, but maybe I'll come up with one along the way. Before we get started, though, I'm going to introduce my two co-hosts to you. It is a Tuesday, and the return of RC Tuesdays is back. It's the host to take it to the table. Chaos, what's going on?
What's good? What's good? Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy April Fool's Day. I hope that no one got fooled, especially by Ben Allison's post about WrestleMania. But yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Still licking my wounds from Sunday after taking a dive for David and letting him win because I felt sorry for him. But yeah, no, I'm all good. I'm all good. I've put away my final boss shirt until I'm able to get back on the horse and reclaim my throne in due course. But yeah, we're here to talk about Raw. We're here to talk about Cody and Cena and everything else in between. So let's get straight to it.
Absolutely. I'm stoked to get into it and always good to see you, Chaos. But it's a Tuesday, so I do want to introduce our next guy. Make sure out in the DMV, get your twos up for shoddy April Fools.
Hey, you fooled me. You fooled me. I was like, where are we going here? Is he snuck in? Is he back? You shouldn't tease us like that. Now, what kind of a job do I have? I'm just the disappointment that isn't Shad. But no, yeah, it's great to be here on a Tuesday. To be honest, I've had a little bit of a hiatus as well. I wasn't very well, but I'm fully, well, not fully, but I'm repaired to an extent now where I can talk to you lovely people and you two as well. But no, it was an exciting Raw. Certainly an improvement on SmackDown on the Friday. I thought this Raw really ramped things up and got the heart rate going.
I do apologize, Jordy, that you got the brunt of that April Fool's Day joke, but
That's
I figured if you know me well enough and I didn't set it up with the I don't have one, it wouldn't have worked the same way. I had to be stealth there. I put a lot of thought into that. I'm a big fan of April Fool's Day. But one thing that is not April Fool's is what happened yesterday on Monday Night Raw between John Cena and Cody Rhodes. What a promo battle. Talk about a battle on the mics. I was all over this. I loved basically everything about it. I will give my opinion at some point when we have this conversation, but I want to go to you first, Chaos. This was kind of the moment we were all waiting for, the official face-off, eye to eye, talking to each other, not necessarily just the crowd, not just explaining why they dislike each other, but to each other. I loved it. Did you love it as much as I did?
Oh yeah, 100%. This is what was needed for this feud, in my opinion, as well as another match which we'll go into later on, which I feel like that was definitely needed to build up the hype, because I did feel like this Mania was kind of playing it a bit too safe, and it just felt like they were just rolling by. But this definitely was a complete different setup from what we got from the past 2 weeks. Obviously we saw Cena coming out first, and we thought he was going to get the same stick, that he's going to be just roasting the fans and he's going to be the real champion and everyone's going to buy the new toy, and he's going to run into the sunset with the championship. But yeah, they changed it up immediately before he even got one word out. Cody was just like, nah, bump that, I'm coming out, and yeah, you're going to try throw your biggest zingers, because it was almost formulaic in terms of his previous feuds with Cena, where almost to the final third of the feud, he just goes and buries his opponent. He did it with Austin Theory. He's done it with the Usos. He's done it with AJ Styles. He's done it with Roman Reigns. the infamous promo. And he's plenty of other people by, but I feel like this was probably the first person that really held their ground with Cena, and really brought it to him, because we all know Cena, when he's in the zone, he's in the zone, like zone. Shout out to Swiss Beats, and he definitely held his ground. kind of called out what you're gonna make fun of my lisp, and I made a company that everyone booed me out of and all that kind of stuff. This was very reference heavy, and everyone does obviously hates all that kind of stuff with that, but I was here for it. So promo of the year, and yeah, definitely I can't wait for Mania. That's all I can say.
I totally agree. It was very reference heavy, but I think it was kind of necessary given the
100%.
two and their status. You brought up a really interesting point though about the beginning of the promo where Cody said, "You're probably going to bring up my lisp and Stardust and all of that." I actually thought it was really impressive that Cena didn't. I thought it was really impressive that then he's like, no, because he basically went Eminem 8 Mile, right? He's going to say all the bad things about himself first, and take the rug out from under you, right? That was Cody's plan there. And then all of a sudden Cena fired back with, "Wait a minute, I've got more than that." Right? I thought it was interesting. Then from there, you have Cody get back on the mic. By comparison, I mean, the fans started to chant for Cena for a second, which was wild. He flipped them for a flash in the pan, but it happened. I thought it was really interesting. Cody kind of took more the low-hanging fruit route himself with like the joke about the body parts and and I mean he sort of took the easier cheap pop stuff to say than I think even John Cena did. There was a lot more depth to Cena's stuff than Cody's. Cody's was a lot more surface level, I felt like. And I'm not saying that means he for sure lost. I thought it was an excellent back and forth, but I would give the nod or the round if this was boxing.
Yeah,
to John Cena
because like he did break the fourth wall in a way. Like he said, I've been known to bury talent, and then he switched it. It's like, I don't bury talent, I am the talent. He definitely rode. It was like a roller coaster with Cena. Whereas obviously I see what you mean with Cody. It was like saying, like, look, you are my hero, but you are a piece of what, like,
right?
You say, I see what you mean, but I think it was the right dynamic because, like I said, like it's not like Charlotte and Tiffany situation. This was like they were even keel. And yeah, it's you could go either way who won that one.
Yeah, it's kind of like
I would say Cena for me personally.
It's one of those. Yeah, I'm in agreement on Cena too. It goes back to the boxing analogy I made, right? It's like after round one, you're like, I would probably lean 10-9 Cena, but we got to see round two, right? Like it was that close. It was too close to score really. But Jordy, I got to get your thoughts on it. Obviously, resident huge Cena fan.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that you probably thought Cena won this one as well, and we'll make it 3 for 3. But what were your thoughts on it? What do you think the biggest highlight was? Your favorite line?
There was honestly so many to choose from both, and I agree. The fact that the reason I do think Cena came out on top of that was because he flipped the crowd, a crowd that was so vocal against him when he came out. Like it wasn't that much of a split crowd when he came out. They were pretty heavy against Cena, and he did flip them, albeit for a short time, but he did it. That's a talent. The line when he said, "I make empires for billionaires and you just steal money off the kids," like that was just like it was so good. And again, the reason that I give this to Cena, and the line was great about whether he was Vince's favorite or what have you. The line was great, but when you actually delve a little bit deep into that, and you have the knowledge that we do in the same guy that Cody's making jabs about flew to get Cody back. So it's not like Cody was against Vince. Like it's so like I just little things like that. But I think Cody took the great route of kind of saying stuff that he knew the crowd would react to, and it was so brilliant. The way that he delivered that line when he said, "You are still my hero," he knew how he was delivering that. He knew it was going to get the reaction that it got. But it's something that, it wasn't word for word, but back when we were still contemplating why Cena did what he did at Elimination Chamber, I was on the show and I said, I hope he comes out and he says, because you don't deserve to be that champion. You shouldn't be in that position. Like you wouldn't be there if it wasn't for me. And the fact that he came out and he literally said, "Seeing you hold that title and be in this position makes me sick." It's like, oh, things are heating up now, because that feels personal. That feels personal. So I was all for it, and yeah, Cena comes out on top for that one for me. But it was one of the best back and forths I remember in recent memory.
Absolutely, I'm with you. It was outstanding. You brought up a really, really excellent point there. The Vince line, right? And that we don't talk about him anymore and stuff.
Yeah.
We also are aware, like you said, of that flight. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was another example, I think, of that kind of low-hanging fruit thing that, you know, I was a little unsure about when it came to Cody's side of the promo. I thought he did a good job.
Like
but he
Punk
took some
can say that
routes.
Do you know what I mean? Like CM Punk has said it to CM Punk said it to Drew, and it was like Punk can kind of say that. Like he literally left the company because of issues with that very same man. Cody very much shook hands with that fella and welcomed him back into the company, went crying for him back in a sense, because the only person he's ever flown to meet to get, everyone else always came to him. So like, I don't know, there was just, when he said it, I had that instant kind of, oh, that was a good line. But then when I thought about it, I was like, hang on, you can't really say that, Cody, of all people.
That's so true. Yeah, right. It did seem, it felt a little bit hypocritical for how the rest of the promo lined up for Cody. Of all of the lines that he dropped, Fernando Zayas in the comments here with one of the best promo battles of all time. I do agree. Well, I mean, all time is a big one, but this is at least of the year, no question. The police are still dusting the mic Cody used last night for fingerprints. LOL, that's funny. And then he said the American Dream is looking down on Cody proudly. Oh, I think no doubt about that. But Captain Charisma in the comments here with, I mean, it wasn't Rock versus Cena where both were firing at each other, or when Cena is taking someone to the deep end like Roman in 2017. It was Cena trying to get Cody to his level, which is the job. Okay, that's fair. And that's a lot of credit to give to John Cena, but I actually don't fully disagree with that statement at all or whatever. And if that really is you, Christian, you got an open microphone on this show anytime you'd like, Captain Charisma. That's all I'm saying.
Chaos, you're muted.
Oh yeah,
you're that or
curse of the mute.
Sorry. No, I was gonna say, like, yeah, Cody has shown that he can really handle himself in previous feuds and whatnot. But I think this was a true test against, you know, someone that knows how to really pretty much test you on the mic, really. So yeah, no, it was fair play to Cody for sure.
And also, I think going into this, a heel Cena, given we know he's really good on the mic and has been as a babyface, if you were making odds in Vegas, would probably be the favorite to win the mic battle. Despite the fact that Cody's a really good babyface on the microphone, you sort of open the portal to heel Cena and him on the mic. I'd give him the nod, at least
if Cody wasn't that good. It
did play out as I would have expected.
Yeah, if Cody wasn't that good, that moment when the audience had flipped, Cody wouldn't have been able to get him back. And he got him back fast.
And
it was like 10, 15 seconds. As soon as Cody started speaking again, they were back with Cody. So that's credit to Cody.
Yeah, it's like, not to keep making the boxing analogy, but it did perfectly fit like the first round of a really, really big time heavyweight fight where it was like Cena landed a flurry.
Yeah.
And then Rhodes landed a counter. Right. And it was like, oh, Cena's got to back up a little bit, but like, you know, it's volume versus like impact and there's a lot of, we could probably talk about this one for the rest of the show, honestly. Maybe even the rest of the year, probably not the rest of the year. We're going to see the match eventually, but at the same time, let's get into our next segment here, because this one is really interesting to me. I'm probably the only one here that thought of this, but I just feel terrible for R-Truth, because Gunther turned Big Jim Uso into Little Jimmy. Like, this was unbelievable, the beatdown. I love it. Now this Jay redemption arc, made some mistakes, got some internet hate, all of that. Now he beat up his brother, and he beat him up bad. Beat him up real bad. Now it's on. I'm excited about it. I think the criticism of the Jey Uso winning the Rumble and all of that has been a little bit overblown. And I think last night put this storyline into gear, headed to Mania. We're in the right spot. I'm more excited about it than I was before. What were your thoughts on it, though, Chaos? Are you in agreement on that?
Yeah, I mean, again, like what I said earlier regarding Cody and Cena, saying that this promo was needed for this feud. This what happened between Gunther, Jimmy, and Jay. That segment, that whole match, this what was needed for this to really get me hyped up for it. You know, it's all, and they're making great use of Jimmy Uso as well regarding this. You know, he's the hype man. He's the one that gave Gunther the slap of the year. even Will Smith would be like, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, it was a great setup. And then, but I just knew as soon as you saw that backstage segment with Jimmy and Jay, and then Jay pulled Jimmy closer, and he was just like, just be careful out there. I was just like, yep, he's gonna die out there. He is definitely gonna get. He's good. That's it. It's done. And sure enough, I mean, Jimmy put in his best work. He tried to, get and put a good fight against Gunther, but at the end, what a visual! What a visual! Two great visuals. Obviously, he was Jay was hand tied to the zip tied to the ropes, and then you see Gunther put in that headlock with a lifeless Jimmy, bloodied up, crimson mask and everything, and then another one where he was standing tall above both of them, covered in blood. It was just, it was a great visual, and yeah, it just really shows they really built the aura again, restored that aura that Gunther has. And it's almost similar to what they did with last year with Gunther and Sammy, where they were kind of running the wheels, and then it wasn't until Gunther really dug in to really check Sammy, saying like, I'm not going to be easy fight for you. And he was attacking him, choking him out, all that kind of stuff. So they're rebuilding this aura, even though it took them a while to get there. But yeah, like now you can see it's a worthy argument for it to possibly be one of the main events. It's not going to be. We know that. Yeah. But yeah, I have no qualms with it. It's definitely got my interest back into the feud. I'm rooting for Jay, but it's definitely one that they could easily do a twist and make Gunther even retain. You never know, but yeah, like if either way, it's definitely build up the momentum for it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It's better than it was before, for sure. I think you made a great point there, right? That's the key to this. I think the criticism was a little bit over the top that we saw on the internet.
Yes.
But he did need a kick in the butt, for a lack of a better way to put it, right? Just like a little nudge. And we got that last night. We've got some comments here from Fernando Zayas, which is WWE rescued the Jay versus Gunther storyline last night. It's interesting. Again, I'm in agreement there. This one cracked me up from Captain Charisma, Big Jim, Slim Jim, Earthworm Jim. Yeah. Okay. Also, Matt Williams here with Clark looks like the main dude from the TV show Lost. LOL. You talking about John Locke, or you talking about Jack Shepard? If you say Hurley, I'll be offended. But either way, I'm just saying. That got Jordy. He saw the show.
I've seen the show.
That show was lost. That's all I know. It got ridiculous.
Wild. It got wild after like season 4. Jordy, what's your opinion on the shift in this Gunther and Jay storyline, especially after the beatdown we saw last night?
Oh, it was needed. Gunther needed this. I actually was in breaking the fourth wall. Everyone in the comments. I was in our group chat, Wrestling Republic group chat. And I'd actually said 3 minutes before this happened, I'm officially bored of Gunther. And then this happened, and I was like, I very much take that back, because this is what it needed. I just can't do the same storyline every time with Gunther of, am I good enough to beat him? Is he too good for me? Like, they did it last year with Sammy. I still think it should have been Chad Gable in that position, but they did it with Sammy. It worked. It's fine. And I mean, they are kind of doing Rocky 4 again, but last year was technically Rocky 3 because Sammy did the whole I'm afraid, for the first time in my life, I'm afraid, which is a scene from Rocky 3. So they're churning it out. But regardless of that, this story needed it. And you put it beautifully, Clark. It's better than it was before. And that's your aim, isn't it? Every week to build on and make it better than it was before. And they didn't do that for a few weeks with this feud. They've certainly done that last night.
I agree. And by the way, Rocky 3, my personal favorite of the Rockies. Controversial too. A lot of people like 4. A lot of people like 2. I'm a 3 guy. I also maintain to this day that Apollo won the fight in the gym that nobody saw at the end of the movie in 3.
Didn't
to this
win the one
day.
in 4.
I absolutely believe it's tied 1-1-1 all time. Apollo and Rocky. He won the one in the gym. I know he did. He had to have. Either way, let's pay some bills really quick, my friends. Let's talk about our friends over at Etsy. If you haven't already downloaded the app, what in the world are you doing? Go download it. It's on the App Store and the Google Play Store. Head over to the upcoming stream section on Sundays. We're on there. The best part about this one is once you set up your profile and everything, as long as you have a cell phone with a camera and a microphone, you don't even have to use the camera. As long as it's got the microphone, you can join the stream, listen to us chat wrestling on Sunday mornings, and best of all, you get the opportunity to argue with me and multiple other creators. It's a blast. So if you disagree with any of my opinions on Cena or Cody or anything else, jump on. We can talk about it. It's a good time. Once again, that's the Etsy app. It's on the App Store and the Google Play Store. So whatever phone you have, you can go get it. Check that one out. But speaking of things that need to be checked out, we've got the Intercontinental title picture. We had a tag match last night. Breaker and Penta, which seems pretty unbeatable. Not so fast, my friends, in the words of the great Lee Corso. They are beatable. Coup de grace. See, I even said that right, pronunciation-wise. Finn Balor, Dom Mysterio, and the Judgment Day pick up the win. This thing has Fatal 4-Way written all over it. I hate to say it. I don't care. It's fine. We've got a lot of triple threats. Why not add one more to the IC picture? Do something like that. I'm all over it. I was a little bit shocked by the victory. I got to get your thoughts on it, though, Jordy. What are we looking forward to Mania-wise, and what were your thoughts on the tag action last night?
Tricky one. I think it makes sense. I agree that it was, you look at it on paper and Penta and Braun should kind of steamroll that team, but the Judgment Day are a team and they've taken too many losses in these situations, I think. So I was actually really happy to see Finn get the win. I'm a huge fan of Finn. I think he probably deserves a little bit more. I think everything with the Judgment Day, everyone said that they're not being booked well, but like he's been prominent on WWE TV for probably the past 18 months to 2 years throughout being in the Judgment Day. So there's a level of like, all right, he might not be booked great, but he's been there, he's been prominent. I hope that the 4-way happens at Mania, and I hope Dom wins. I hope Dirty Dom wins that IC title. I really, really do. I don't think anybody would see it coming. And I just think I'm ready for him to have a little run on the main roster with the title. Obviously, we saw him with the NXT North American title. I just think, could Liv help him again? Obviously, like when she was talking to Dom last night after Finn had walked off and he was all hyped, I started to see shades of that Liv Morgan that was whispering in Dom's ear when he was turning on Rhea Ripley and stuff. And we know that she can do it. We know that she can get into his head. And who's to say whether she's wrong or not? I'm not saying whether Finn's all out for himself or that's a different discussion. But we know Liv can get in his head. We also know Liv, especially Liv and Raquel, can make a difference to a match and tilt something in someone's favor. So I would have kind of liked to see it would stink a bit for Braun to lose the title at Mania, I can't lie, but if it's through shenanigans, if it's through a fatal 4-way and Braun doesn't get pinned, it does feel like he's somewhat protected in that sense. It's almost an opportunity to get him off the title, maybe throw him into a world title scene. I don't know if he's right ready for that, but yeah, the outcome of this I want to see is Dom winning at Mania.
I'm hugely in agreement on most of it. I don't know that it necessarily has to be Dom, but when it comes to the Braun Breaker situation, it's Mania. Let's take him getting pinned out of the equation. Make it a ladder match.
Yeah, true.
And then you can insert him in the world title picture. He never lost it by 1, 2, 3 on his back. Or
you could also have a Lion King moment with Dom and Finn when he just pushes him off the ladder. Long live the king.
Long live the king. Boom. Yeah, nope. I love that. I'm all over it. I think a ladder match is a great idea. Or something to that effect. Fatal 4-Way is fine because you can pin someone else and Braun can lose the title. But with Braun's character, if someone else were to get pinned, I think it's illogical that he doesn't go back for redemption like he didn't pin me.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a ladder match, I think it's easier to sort of slide him away from the IC title picture.
Yeah.
Like you take the bitterness away in some way, right? It's like, well, it was a car crash, right? So like that's what we ended up with. And then you can, like you mentioned, insert Braun into the world title picture. I like that you picked Dom though, of the four. That's not the route I was going to go. Chaos, do you have one in mind if this does hypothetically eventually end up in the fatal four-way we're kind of predicting?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a nice little twist for Dom because as far as I recall, I think Dom has yet to have a win at Mania. I think he's good. I think he's 0-2 right now. So it'll be a nice twist considering, the work that he's put in, the guy's still getting hella boos and all that stuff. I think that'll be a nice twist and finally rejuvenate the Judgment Day, whether it's a full-on split or there's fully kick out Finn Balor afterwards. But yeah, I feel like Braun should probably go for bigger fish, especially if Jay wins. I think Braun will be a good first challenge for Jay. So yeah, no, I have no qualms with it. It's a good feud. I'm liking it.
Even a challenge for
like
Gunther
that.
works too, because it's like that's like
Same.
unstoppable force meets immovable object, isn't it?
A little bit, yes. That's a heavyweight title fight if I've ever heard of one, right? Yeah, that's almost one you'd want to have a weigh-in for if we didn't know that those don't work in pro wrestling.
It's like you can't. It's almost like I know you could do it, but it feels like you couldn't do to Braun what he did to Jay last night because Braun had just snapped the cable tie straight away.
Yeah,
like,
you
know
just
what
pull
I mean?
his arm
it's
out.
another monster.
Just
like,
be like, nope, not now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is 100%. He said 0-3 Chaos. DC Warlord said 0-3
Oh
Chaos.
yeah,
Remember,
yeah.
Russell Logan and Miz. That is true. That's
when the
actually
Miz
kinda
turned
wild.
on Logan. I mean,
That's actually kind of wild. Okay. By the way, before we actually move on to the next segment, I will make my pick as well. Of if it's not going to be Braun retaining, it's got to be Cero Miedo. Let's put the title on Penta. I'm all over that. Wouldn't mind Dom. I love the idea, but I didn't want to make it 3 for 3. That'd be twice in a row, and that's just ruins the continuity of the show. I can't do that, so I'm taking Penta. But let's move on to our main event of the evening. The main event of the evening. Bianca Belair screwed Ripley, and I have one qualm with this. That is with Ben Allison, who made the graphic. If somebody drop kicks the referee, that's a DQ. Nobody got screwed. She didn't do it on purpose. If the referee gets hit by a performer, that is a DQ. The match gets thrown out. I don't think
all the time though.
I know.
You have to do it in the back of the head.
That's because nobody follows the rules anymore.
No, not even if they do it in the back of the head. There's been plenty of times where Earl Hebner gets his clock cleaned, and
that's because he doesn't know who did it, and that's what I liked. That's what I actually liked about this storytelling is a wrestler like Bianca, unlike a referee who would be knocked unconscious and unaware of what happened entirely, was aware of what happened. And threw the match out.
She got hit too many times. She just got fed up.
Right.
Maybe once or twice, maybe. But yeah, she got hit too many times. So I understand yeah, so here's the DQ.
You see where I'm going on that, right?
Yeah,
it is a DQ.
Yeah.
Double DQ as well. She didn't just disqualify Rhea. Both of them.
Yes, double DQ. Yeah. And it heated up the rivalry. This is triple threat. It has to be triple threat.
Unfortunately.
You cannot mess this up. I don't hate it at all anymore. It was convoluted on the way here. I thought last night was arguably the best executed along the way, including the contract signing. I think last night was the best of this build because now it all makes sense. Now they all hate each other and they all deserve a title shot. And obviously Rhea signing the contract should have probably been that more than just the one-on-one match at Mania. It should have been that because she signed the Mania contract. So I don't know how they exactly make it 100%, but that is where we have to go with this. We now can't have a one-on-one match between Bianca and Io and just have Rhea waiting in the wings or not on the Mania card. And that is my only issue now with this storyline is we probably should have connected those dots last week. I didn't hate last night, but like I said, I thought it was actually the best of what they've done because it's been too slow of a burn. And finally, now we're here. Now we got action. I don't know. Chaos, what were your thoughts? Break it down for me, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I agree. It's definitely been a convoluted ride, and it's quite evident like over the weeks that obviously Rhea lost the title. She keeps on banging on saying she wants a rematch. She's obviously warranted it, but then Adam Pearce was saying like, "Well, I've been trying to give it to you for weeks, but you're just playing this dumb long game, and then eventually you get it, and now you're moaning that you're getting screwed over and whatnot." So it's like it was a very weird way of going around it. Me personally, I still feel like it should have still been Bianca and Io, because it does look like when you think about it, it was just Rhea just throwing her weight around because it's Rhea Ripley, and she needs to have a Mania match, a worthy Mania match. So whether you want to take it as maybe she, it's warranted or whatnot, that's up to you. But yeah, I feel bad, especially for Io. She's starting to feel like the Miz to me at this point, where like you got this bigger feud, which is meant to be, it was clearly Bianca and Rhea, same as how it was back then when it was The Rock and Cena, and then Miz being the champion, she's kind of like the third wheel, and it's more evidence than this because like she's being disrespected and she's the champion. This is the person that they're both kind of gone for, but they're busy concentrating on each other. So it's really, I feel bad for Io out of all of this. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Do I think she's going to walk out as champion? Probably not, even though she definitely doesn't. She doesn't deserve that kind of that treatment. But yeah, Rhea needs to have a big Mania match, just because for her namesake, and Bianca is Bianca in it. And I feel like already they've distanced themselves from the Naomi and Jade Cargill thing. I still feel like there should have been more water to tread on that, but let's see what happens here. And yeah, even Bianca got booed the hell out of the ring as well, out of the arena last night. But so it's a weird build up. I don't know what to feel about it, but yeah, either way, I feel bad for Io Sky.
It is odd, and I feel bad for Io Sky too. I got to say one thing. This is interesting. I was at the Rumble, right, in Indianapolis, and when Io's music hit, it was one of the louder pops of the night for anyone. I was actually stunned, and that I'm not trying to discount Io's talent. I actually didn't realize just how over she was. And I think part of that crowd reaction led to this being inserted into this rivalry. Part of me wonders since then if the original plan was Bianca Ripley, and they were like, did you hear what the crowd did for Io when she entered the Rumble in every spot? And like how over she is organically? I think there's something there that I was unaware of, arguably, honestly. And that's my fault, right? Like I'm admitting that I was wrong. But I agree with you. I feel bad for Io because it does feel like her title reign a little bit is being overshadowed here by the rivalry between the other two. Right?
And they're the ones that was clamoring for a championship match. I mean, obviously Bianca won her the Elimination Chamber, and Rhea Ripley, obviously she is owed a rematch, fair enough, but they're too busy fighting over each other. It's just weird. So
it's more about them than it is Io. And yeah, that is a very good point. Jordy, I'm going to you next, man. Make some sense of that. What are your thoughts on Io being a little bit overshadowed, the way last night's match went down, and everything we've got headed to Mania for this potential triple threat situation?
Yeah, it's not been the best build up ever. Something that should be better, and something that I think these three women deserve better. Some of the best stuff has been on X. Like that's the level that we're at. Some of the kind of most inviting and the most controversial things that have been said was when they had that little Twitter beef that evening. And I can only assume to myself that they've taken it upon themselves to do that because they knew that the heat wasn't there that they needed and that they deserve. I think it should be main eventing. I've said this kind of from the start. I think it should main event night one. I think these have got the talent to. I think when you look, and I appreciate, don't get me wrong, I appreciate the CM Punk. I love CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. I'm a huge fan of all three of them. But when your two women's title matches on the card is Tiffany versus Charlotte, which is a generational clash. It's a clash of generations. Do you know what I mean? And the other one is three of the best of a generation in Bianca, Rhea, and Io, and neither of them is main eventing. Something just don't feel right. It just doesn't sit right with me. I think this
wrong. Sorry,
it's all right, mate. That's absolutely fine. If we're promoting the fact that three blokes squabbling about history is more important than both women's titles, then colour me wrong. Like I'll be wrong about that. But that's the image that it is presenting, and it doesn't. I just don't think it looks great. I think that they could have avoided it. They totally could have avoided it. They didn't need to have this triple threat. I think this is why things like Jey Uso and Gunther has felt clunky, because that's not main eventing either, and a Rumble winner should be. It's hard to make the fans think that these are the biggest fights when we know that they're not. We know that these aren't what's going on last. So why should we care the most about them? So they kind of have backed themselves into a corner in that sense, I think. And that's why it has felt a little bit clunky. I also think they had an opportunity to tell this story well when they did the contract signing, because they specifically said, once two names are on this, it's legally binding. Bianca should never have signed it. Rhea should have got to the ring, interrupted before Bianca signed it, put her name on it, and at that point, they've said on TV, once that gets two names on it, it's legally binding. So the legally binding contract would have said Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. That at that point, Bianca goes, "Hang on, I won the chamber. What are you talking about?" And they say, "Well, we can't get rid of the match, but we can add you to it." And that could be how the triple threat's been made. So it has been messy, but I genuinely think when you take the main event away from it in how important it is to the company in terms of where they're putting it on the card, we as fans and as an audience, we're not idiots. We know that. We're like, well, why should we care the most about this if it's not main eventing?
I hate to do this to you, Chaos, but I fully agree with Jordy. Especially because we've got the NFL Combine with the triple threat men's match. Which of the three of us is the best? Who's the biggest, the fastest, the strongest? Like, they might as well play capture the flag. It makes no sense. There's no. What does the winner get? Pride? Like, that's cute.
It's because CM Punk's childhood dream is to main event.
This is like when McGregor main evented ahead of Amanda Nunes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for a non-title. It's like, really? Like, what's the point there? You know, I understand that is the storyline with more eyeballs on it. If you want to justify it, put a title on it. Put something on it. Number one contendership. You want to justify it.
No, it doesn't. I agree with that. I agree that triple threat between them three men doesn't need a title, but I also think that it doesn't need a main event.
I think it does to main event. That's the point I'm making, right? Because I've made the point in the past that I thought it did in the past. I given the current state, I'm a little like you, Jordy, with the Gunther situation, where it's like, I'm a little like, okay, let the three fight. I get it, right? But for it to main event, it's got to have something, right? Because it's just like,
it depends on the favor.
Yeah,
we don't know what this favor is. We kind of think that we do, but it could easily be a swerve, and it's something that we least expect. So that's what I'm banking on, is whatever this favor is. And then it might change. It might change the implications of Mania, or maybe later down the line. So there is some stuff riding at stake, and especially, like, I'm pretty sure Roman has trust issues with Heyman, and Seth is pretty much he's teetering, going full heel in this situation. So there is there's a lot
of steam there.
None of that's more important.
I'm in agreement there, but Chaos, you've watched as much MMA as me. I mean, TKO can just throw a BMF title on it, right?
I agree, and I think this probably should main event, but like, they could have saved it for Backlash. Like, I think that.
Oh, come on!
I think no. Listen, I think Jay winning the Rumble. I think the mistake goes as far back as that. I think it should have been. I think Roman should have won the Rumble. He should have teed up Cody and Roman 3. And then Cena wins the chamber, still heel turns and goes, "I'm not going for Gunther, I'm coming for you, Cody." And then that makes that match a triple threat that means a main event.
That's what I'm saying. But people will be complaining, "Oh, we're getting Cody and Roman for the third time at Mania."
Yeah, and then at Chamber, they would have all been made to look stupid because they were getting Cena versus Cody versus Roman. And then The Rock in being involved in that adds another layer, because Roman's like, "Hey, cuz, what are you doing? I just won the Rumble and I'm going for my title back, and you've just thrown John Cena into this match." So then it adds another little layer. I don't know. I think the mistakes go as far back as that. But listen, we've got good matches, good card.
I agree. And for me, though, I think the simplest solution is just say the winner of the triple threat gets the winner of Cody and Cena at Backlash. Boom. Then we're fine.
Yeah.
Then I'm okay with it actually even main eventing over the women's triple threat. Honestly, just because of the amount of steam that is in that storyline, I'm okay with it.
I'd rather it main event night 2 and John Cena say, I'm not waiting around. I'm fighting you first and I'm going to win and leave.
That I'd be cool with.
I would actually prefer that, and then
I would have no issue with that either.
Give Rhea and that the main event of night 1.
Sorry, where's Backlash again? Is it St. Louis?
Yes.
I believe St. Louis.
Randy's main event. Randy. It's going to be Cena and Randy.
Yeah, Cody or Cena Randy.
Yeah.
I mean, either
Cody
or.
Randy was still.
It's going to be Cena Randy.
What about Cody Cena Randy?
That would also be good.
That would be cool as well, yeah. If he's good, if he's there, it depends if Cody is completely effed up by the end of.
Randy will have kicked someone in the head again by this point as well.
That's also where I think Randy and Cena rubbing shoulders one-on-one is not really in the cards this year. It doesn't make as much sense to me as I think it should, but that's probably his greatest rival. So if you can have them at least rub shoulders in a triple threat with Cody, I think that's
that's one way you're going around it, because I do remember the last time they fought, they definitely said this is the last time they're
like a little step slow, but you can get him to at least rub shoulders. It's his greatest rival, like on the
heel Randy. No, heel Cena versus face Randy in St. Louis would be weird.
That'd be absolutely wild.
How the turns have tabled.
Yeah, absolutely.
How the turns of tables have tied, or what? Never mind. Okay. With that, that's gonna bring us to the end of the show. Thank you so much, everybody that tuned in. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. It's noon Pacific, 3:00 over on the East Coast, 8:00 in the UK, and of course 9 a.m. for my friends in Hawaii. Also check out Take It to the Table. Check out Sunday Night Spotlight. We got a good guest this week. It's gonna be fun. Everything on WR. On behalf of me, Clark, Jordy, and Chaos. Have an excellent Tuesday afternoon. Also, do check out Off the Air tonight. It's going to be a blast. We really will have Shaw this time. That is not an April Fool's joke. Have a good one, and peace.